Right. Drum roll. Let's go. Welcome back. This is episode. Welcome back to Rise With Us podcast. My name is Tendai Madume as usual. Here we talk positive, trying to push the narrative of people in general, but mainly focusing on the our African brothers and sisters to change the narrative and the mindset. We cannot do it alone. We have to work as a team. We have to carry on plugging and having conversations that lead somewhere. I mean, there's enough people who are talking these days with the free of social media, but we want to talk about actions. We want to see what are people doing out there. I think it's important that since we've done our series, I think you're talking about series 9 now. I can't keep on talking to myself. I have to be talking to some people who are doing stuff in the community and find out how they are doing it. Yep. I'm not alone today.
Yep.
Of course, I've got a guest in the building. Dr. Joanitha, how are you doing?
Not bad. How are you?
Me, I'm very good.
I can say that.
How's things?
Good, thank God.
Thanks for coming.
You.
Just for the record, Doctor is the first time in the studio. Yes.
I hope I do justice to this.
No pressure. How was your journey to the studio? Was it good?
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Kind of knew the place, so it was easy to navigate.
Yes. Clearly, Doctor, if you give us a bit of a background of who you are, I think it's important our viewers know who is Dr. John. Yes, please. Who is Dr. Joanitha Ntangeki?
Oh, you got it.
Yes.
Good. Yeah. So
Talking about just to find out more about who is Dr. Joanitha Ntangeki.
Yes. So as I mentioned, I'm not a medical doctor. I am an academic specialized on international investment law. But on top of being an academic, I am a lecturer. I'm teaching business and law modules. Other than that, I am a wife, I am a mother, and recently started my own foundation called Sisters Talk, which kind of kept me on my feet because there's some things we do as job and there's some other things we do with passion. And for me, I think Sisters Talk I feel like it's what the purpose of me doing what I'm doing. Yeah. As much as I can do the business, I can consult people, I can add value and knowledge to student. The Sisters Talk, I think, is deep into my heart.
I think it's important. You just put me into the right path that we talk about Sisters Talk Foundation. It is a foundation that is causing a wave. We are shooting this in Plymouth. We both live in Plymouth. And Doctor, she is working as a lecturer at the University of Plymouth.
Yeah.
So she's very engraved in the community and in the student arena here in Plymouth. Let's talk about what really comes into mind just before you started. What was going through your head?
I think
Sisters Talk.
Yeah. So when I was doing my research, like when I was doing my PhD, I had a privilege to travel around and met number of people with different level of career and, should I say, finance and all that. So we've been to a number of African countries, number of European countries, discussing international investment law. But in those rooms, I saw few women and few that were in. I'm kind of a curious person and try to connect and all that. So I know being there was not easy. And when I had a bit of conversation with them, you can feel like they're there already. For me, I'm like, you made it and you're doing amazing and all that. But they don't have that confidence. Like they feel like they have that hold back. And out of curiosity, again, hanging out with people within the community, I feel like they're having that holding back. So a lot of women, it's not just women actually, men, but mostly women, I think they kind of have that imposter syndrome a lot. They have so much potential, they have vision, they have dreams to fulfill, but there's this lack of confidence, or feel like I don't belong, or I'll be judged, or I can't be there. And for me, I was like, but why? Like, who is holding you back? I think the power to change, we have it within ourselves. I think most of us, we kind of think of, what would they say? What would they think of me, and all that? And I'm like, that's the only thing I think is holding us back. And for me, it was like, let me be, not the face, but face within my community, to kind of try push myself to be in the room that people feel like I don't belong, to be in places that people think I don't deserve, and let me see the difference in that.
That's very interesting. I think it kind of sits well with our podcast. What also we are trying to do. Do you think this mindset you should just describe there? I think you did well by justifying it's both women and men.
Yeah.
Are you nearly referring to the Black community and culture, and is it a cultural thing? I mean, I believe we have got so many potentials as human beings, and those who become successful, which are posted over and over in time, we don't really celebrate them. Instead, we try to draw them back again to where you actually want to be. So it's like the cycle is on. Someone shoots off by whatever they've done.
Try to become.
And then you want to get where they are, but in the same time, you want to get there by pulling them backwards instead of joining them in the process. Just going back to what you just said there, is it a cultural thing that we have the potential, but we have also a massive hold back in our hearts to be and to do things?
I actually thought it was, but I tried to, through the research again, trying to find out, I tried to hang out with people outside Africa or not that are Black.
Yeah.
And I came to understand actually it's not Africans only or Blacks only. I think normally all human beings have that fear. But for other things, the culture somehow affected us. I don't know about boys, but women back home, we kind of been raised of, you have to be polite, to keep quiet, to be calm. And that's like classy or a ladylike. So when you are loud, you fight for your right to speak the things that you feel is supposed to be spoken. You're like, she's not well brought up and things like that. So most of ladies, I feel like, or some even men, they kind of grew up with that. Like you have an idea, but you are scared of saying it out. While the kids that grew up here, they have that freedom of speech, like say your mind, you can argue, you can do all that. They both have advantage and a disadvantage. But I think for us, has kind of limited us a lot, not to speak out, not to try. And the idea that you mentioned about when we see others that have pushed to break the barrier and be there, and the one that are down are trying to pull instead of trying to be there. Recently, I spoke to one of the event and I spoke about the light. Like we have light, like let your light shine. And I think we kind of bother much about others because we have not discovered ourselves and explore ourselves much. So if I see Tendai has like a radio station, Tendai has this business, Tendai has that you identified your area that you're good at and you walked through to become that. So for me, I'm kind of jealous of why does he have that? Why does he have that? But if I know like, okay, now I know like maybe I'm an inspirational speaker, I'm an academic and all that, and I build myself in my area, I'm flourishing to become that. It's easy for us to support each other because we know the struggle of breaking the barrier.
Yes.
So I think the barrier is people finding themselves. And with the Sisters Talk, we started some workshop called Unlock and Unleash Your Potential. When you discovered your potential and you unlock it, trust me, I won't bother with what you're doing.
What someone
much will be like supporting you and supporting each other, and we end up flourishing. But I think we cover our light and then we focus more on somebody's light, like let me switch it off or so. But when both, I gave a simple example, which I think I saw it somewhere. We use your torchlight and lift it up. Like your torchlight and mine, if they're all up, the only thing you can help is take the darkness away. But most of us are trying to switch the other one so that we stay in the dark.
Yes, I think I agree with you there. I think it's a mindset that personally I've been singing about that needs to change. Some people also sometimes confuse helping and giving. So if you are someone who wants help, you ask for help.
Yeah, we are bad at that.
But we are very bad at asking for help. We want to be given. We want entitlement. We want to say, because you have it, I should also have it.
Which it does not work. Our strengths are different. Our grace are different.
Things don't work like that. Listen, we're going to come back on the second segment of this show. Stay tuned. It's getting interesting. Thank you. Just fix it in the editing. Yes. So welcome back. Thank you very much. We're just talking about breaking the barriers, and we're in a point where we are talking about people not willing to ask for help, but having this expectation or this sort of entitlement because someone has, they should give, not to ask how did you get there. I think it's a question we need to be asking. With your sister's talk, you mentioned about this what's the name? You mentioned the workshop. Yes, the workshops you are doing.
Yeah.
How's that going, and how can people get involved? I know you are best in Plymouth, but do you do them across the country?
Yeah, no. For now, we do them physically here, but based on the demand, I think the next year we might start to do some online to benefit people within or outside the city. And I've seen so much changes, not just for me, even for few people that were able to attend. And now I can see the society or the community that we are building is more supportive for me. I'm like, I did not see this one coming, but that brought by understanding your potential, what you're good at. Someone said, like, if you stay your lane, there won't be traffic. But most of the time, you start to switch. You want to start to do what's like Tendai is doing this. I'm leaving what I'm doing because you succeeded on that. Let me try to do what Tendai is doing. And I don't have grace there and power there. And I end up failing and I get angry and then I'm not happy with you and all that. But if you stick with what you're good at and then knowing like I cannot do what you're doing, and I know that you flourishing what you're doing will benefit me, then it'll be so easier to just support you and cheering you up and being happy with you. And people don't know, actually, the more you support others and wish them well and like go there, when they're there, they will definitely remember you and they will do the same to you. But when you're pulling and have this anger and jealousy and all that, you're just blocking yourself. I don't know. I think with our Black community, again, we might go back to the culture or the experience. You mentioned the fear of asking. Yeah. I think most perhaps they have an experience of asking and being devalued or ashamed, and that kind of hold them back. Yeah. They have that fear of, I cannot ask Tendai, how did you get this? How can you get there? Yeah. But I think not everybody have that. I know you're an amazing person. If I have any issue, I know I could think of you and all that. I think mindset is really...
Let's talk about the Sisters Talk event coming up, and also before we get into the actual event itself, the ones you've done so far, how are they impacting the community? Is it aligning with your vision?
It does, because as I said, you mentioned our African brothers and sisters have so much potential and ability, but I think coming to the new land or new country, there's this fear of, do I belong? Do I meet the criteria? Do I deserve? But I think I tried so much to being in the room that they are in, and there's some of the discussion, there's some of the things that are doing, and I'm like, I know a brother who can do amazing than this person, but they're not in the room, or there's idea of visibility, being there for someone to see. If I think of maybe a guitarist or a pianist, like I know someone, we can't see them there. They're hiding within our community only, perhaps. And sometimes new people are more supportive than the people that you have. So I think that's what I'm trying to help most of them. Like, if where you are has not helped you, try to walk into a new room, see how that works, and coming out of their comfort zone. So with that, we have got almost 12 businesses that our sisters have started, and people thought that it's like empowering, but actually it's not like giving them power. It's just reminding them what they are good at and have the courage to do that. And the joy of me seeing them doing it and then having that confidence back. Like now I'm doing something I love, because most of them, I think I understand there's issue of finance, the issue of settling first and all that, but sometimes we kind of forget ourselves and then we leave the dream, the vision, the potential, we settle for a little. So kind of reminding them, you can still do that, but what are you good at? What are you, have you been aspiring to be or doing? And give them support to start and connecting them with the right people. And I'm not gaining any money, but seeing them flourishing there, I know when they get at the top, there's no way they'll forget Joanitha.
That's correct. That's correct.
Yeah.
Long-term gains, yeah?
Yeah.
So what can people expect in the coming event, and when is it?
Yeah, so the coming one is called She Leads Summit, which is, I think, our annual and our biggest event of the year, happening at Copthorne Hotel on the 12th of November. It's a one-day summit, 9:30 till 4 o'clock. And we have different speakers from different background, different community. So we have blacks, we got whites, we got people in politics, we got people in law, we got people in NHS, we got that diverse.
Yeah.
And the conversation that we are having something that everyone could relate. So we're having these women that, for me, I feel like they broke barriers in different areas. So they are sharing or discussing how they overcame that and sharing practical tools of doing that. And trust me, some of the conversations that are coming out of that, they're not completely new, but just hearing like, oh, you are going through that as well, you have faced that as well, and you are there. That on its own is a wake-up call for someone to feel like, actually, I'm not alone. Actually, I can become and all that. So the theme is becoming, discussing mindset, we're discussing visibility, and balancing it all, like being a woman, you go, my.
Take us, I know. Thank you very much. Take us through the actual day itself. So people arrive, and then what?
So we have like half an hour networking. So meeting new people, introducing if you have a business and all that. That connecting to set that room, like we are family. And the idea of, as we say, the sisters, okay, we are bringing a community of like, we are all sisters.
Yeah.
And as family member, you wish everybody to do better and all that. So networking, then we have a keynote speaker coming from Bristol. She's British, but she has been so much pushing the Black community. I think that was a value of me connecting with her and inviting her to share the value. Then we got the Vice Chancellor of Plymouth University, who kind of understood the vision, and he was like, I want to share my story as well. So we have that. We got MP Rebecca. She's an MP. And she's sharing her story, because politics, I feel like, is one of the dangerous game to play.
Yeah.
And being a woman in there.
Yes.
So yeah, and then some panel discussion, and people will be able to ask questions, to relate. It's more like a talk. There's lunch, there's music, it's a day out. It's a treat.
It's a treat. Yes. So check it out on the
Sisters Talk
Foundation account, Instagram. No Facebook page yet?
No, but I'm using my own Facebook kind of push it. If you follow me on Facebook, I share most of the event coming.
And how do you follow?
Joanitha Ntangeki.
Yes.
Using the same name.
Please, yes. So follow. We're probably going to tag some of these tags onto on our social media as well, on the Rise With Us podcast. So thank you very much. It is important that people meet up, might be of gender or might be mixed, just to have a conversation every now and then.
Yes.
I think it is important.
And it is very, especially that diversity mixing up, because we're in a new land, but we try to be ourselves only.
Yes.
And the idea of having them as well. So if someone comes in and I see an African sister or Black sister that she speaks sense, she's that, and they're like, there's this perspective that some have in mind of not networking or interacting with them, then it changed their perspective as well. Like, oh, it's not what I thought, actually. They are more than that, and they're all that. Having the community of our own is amazing, it's beautiful. We push ourselves and all that. But that's another thing about visibility, them seeing what we are capable of, what we are good at. And that's another thing that I'm creating.
Wow, she's a woman of power. Let me tell you that we are very delighted to have her here on our show. I'm going to want you to tell us more, because I've seen you everywhere and everywhere.
Is it everywhere?
Of late. Tell us other things that you've been doing apart from Sisters Talk. We are fully aware that you're also a mother of two boys.
Yeah.
And how do you balance the two? But before that, just tell us what else you've been doing. What else you've been doing in your life of late? That is of community of your self-interest.
I think recently since I started, everything has been influenced with the Sisters Talk. Me going out and trying to collaborate and trying to connect with other people that are doing the same thing. And that's the idea again that we talked about, the mindset. So I could think like I want to make things of my own. I want to make it grow and all that. But I would have not got far or faster than I am now. When I realized like there's other people doing other things, as long as the vision is to empower women. And so I wanted to know what they are doing first, and so that I do not interfere or compete with them. So there's a lot of networking event for women particularly, but most of them, I think people, again, if I go, most of them I find I'm the only black maybe, and Sister Lillian perhaps. And so that, again, that's another thing that I'm trying to push them. Come, let them see you and all that and all that. So recently I've been involved more into the community, and I think being around as well, the city council, I've been involved now. We're talking about women empowerment and pay rate and all that. So anything related to empowerment and women and diversity and inclusion within the city now, I think I kind of put my voice there.
Yeah. Which is very good. We need more people like you to be out there as well. So if you are of African descent, or if you are black and you want to get involved in certain things that may be happening in the city, mainly in the city of Plymouth, please get in touch with Dr. Joanitha here, so you can tag along, see how things are being done outside there. Don't be boxed. Feel free. Fly the nest.
Don't stay under the box.
Here at Rise With Us podcast, we focus a lot on Africa as a continent. I thought you are an African descent. You're from Kenya, Tanzania. Sorry, sure, I'm dead. Tanzania. So, and there's a lot actually. We probably should start there. A lot is happening in Tanzania. We're not talking politics. We're just kind of coming from a progressive mindset. That's really my next show that I'm going to be. Sorry, the next episode we're going to be talking about the power and mindset and what maybe the Africa will look like in 10 years. Please stay tuned. I'll be right back. And we are back. So thank you very much. This is Rise With Us, a podcast where we try to shift the mindset of our brothers and sisters. Today we have Dr. Joanitha in the building from Sisters Talk. She's sharing us the information of the upcoming event which is happening in Plymouth next Monday.
The upcoming Wednesday, 12th of November.
The upcoming Wednesday, 12th of November. My wife is attending. She's also be in the building with other ladies in there. So it's good. It's good. Please go and check that out. Hopefully we'll be putting out this podcast soon this weekend. This weekend. So we're talking about Africa.
Yeah.
And Doctor, she's from Tanzania. So I think it's important that she shares. There's a lot of commotions right now. If you are watching this video on this particular day, the 31st of October, there's a lot of activities that are taking place in Tanzania as we speak. People are not happy with the government, and let's hear Doctor's thoughts. Doctor, what's happening in Tanzania?
Democracy.
It's a very big question.
It is. I'm trying to summarize it.
Yeah.
But I think in summary, we could say democracy.
Yeah.
There isn't true democracy. And I think most of African leaders have an understanding, or they've seen this tendency or feel like they kind of have power over the community or citizens. But ideally, it's the citizen that gives them power. So they kind of forget that.
Yeah. This word power, Doctor, what's your take on it? It's getting used across Africa. Power doesn't get used anywhere else. They don't call Britain.
Really?
No, they don't say Minister of Britain's got power. Power to do what?
To make decisions.
Lead.
To lead.
It's two different things. So if you see you're given power, you give me power and see how far I can go. If you see what I mean.
See that, yeah.
So we are giving people power in Africa. And then when they start to use the power we are giving them, and we are complaining.
What should we give them? What do you want to call it?
We should allow them to lead, not to give them power. If they give them power, I can even hear slogans, for example, in my country, Kutonga. That's like power over you. This party has power over people. Then we are taking away now the leadership and we are also now forgetting that these very same people are working for us.
Yeah, I think that is.
So if we give them power, then they're not working for us anymore. They are now ruling us. We don't want to be ruled.
I think it's a perspective how you define power.
Okay.
So we allow them to make decision on behalf of us. So that's a power. And if I'm giving you power, I can take the power away from you.
Okay.
So I think the idea of if you're given power, you are given, you cannot miss. I think that the value is wasted because we forget that we gave them power and feel like they hold.
Do we give them or
we vote for them? So if that's what is happening then. If truly the democracy was true and people are truly voting for the right people that they are happy with, then I don't think any issue would have happened there'll be very little one because no one is perfect.
Yeah.
But I think most of politicians, African politicians, they forget that power is given, power can be taken. Yes. So they end up being in seats and they take control and they feel like whoever put me here cannot take me out. And it has been like that actually. So I think people now are remembering I think enough is enough.
That's what's happening in Tanzania right now. So they don't want to see the current president anymore.
Yeah.
Really, they want the government to be changed because of too much corruption, which we hear in every other countries anyway. Yeah. I don't think that's what we should sit on that too long. What I really want to hear from you as part of the whole bracket of the podcast is the mindset, the shifting. Do you believe really truly the difference between 10 years ago and the next 10 years, that the mindsets of African people is changing?
A lot, because I think years ago things were a bit hidden. Now everything is outside there. The social media, the technology. It's easier to know everything, under your palm, like in your palm, and then you can find those information. Previous, you have to read some books, you have to pay for some event to find those information and all that. So this generation are more aware of what is going on.
Yes.
And they can easily see what is happening in America, in US, in UK, in other countries. So they can see the difference. You can easily see, but people who are elected in these countries, they are not the one that we have. So now they can question, they can reason. We're calling them Gen Z.
What does that mean?
Like these 2,000 kids, they're new generation.
New generation, yes.
Yeah. So they and they don't have that much fear because I think they're born in that generation that everything is just there. They can access, they can access information, they can see people making decisions and things are happening and all that. Now, simply what is going on in Tanzania, I think Nepal recently, and is it Bangladesh? I can't remember what other country, that Nepal changed their leadership through protests and all that. I've been discussing with someone and said that has really influenced and give this generation power. We have seen them doing this. But years. If they didn't see that, then there would have been that fear. But we have seen that and it became possible. So we can do that.
Yes.
And it will be possible.
So we're talking about mind shifting here. Are we suggesting that now slightly we are getting over our colonial brains, our colonial thinking, which has probably derail or slow the progress of our mindset, because Mark Zuckerberg have come with a different angle of democracy, if you like, where information is just there.
Yes.
Whereas before information was hidden.
Yeah.
Do you in your own mind or your own thinking, do you think colonial mindset is slightly shifting in terms of progressive in terms of people building, in terms of people starting businesses, in terms of people investing in technology in Africa. For example, in my country, farming was never something when I was growing up that I ever thought of. You think farming was for white people, and white people using poor people. Because farms, if you work in a farm in my country, you are very poor. For you to go in and work in a farm. But now, I don't know how it's happening in Tanzania, but in Zimbabwe, people
My dad is a farmer now.
What, sorry?
My dad is a farmer.
He's a farmer now, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes.
And he's making more money than even people with PhD and all that.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Tell us that thinking, I mean, as far as Tanzania is concerned, I can tell you more what Zimbabwe is doing, but I've been already saying that on the podcast. I think it also would be good to hear how other Africans are developing their own countries now that the shackles have been, open, like you said, the world is now open, naked,
I think knowledge is power.
Yeah.
And the more people are informed and have an understanding and see the possible and impossible, is giving them power to make decisions, to start doing things. And few of the barrier that some again have that knowledge, have that vision, I think the government have tried to kind of limit them. And we can see this difference that is coming now. Like, I think we go to the point, like, no one should stop us. As long as you're not breaking the law, you're not hurting anyone, you're trying to push that. And we have had few leaders, for example, the late Magufuli that we had in Tanzania. Again, I feel like he came with that mindset, and I feel like he has influenced even the new generation to be angry with the new government. Because as he came, some of his speech, he made people know, like, we can do on our own. We don't need to depend with Western countries and all that. If we choose to make cars, we have people who can be creative.
That's correct.
Why can't we just support them and them do that? If we want this, why do we have to ask for loan there? Why can't, like, we have so much resource. And funny how even Western countries, they know that we are capable of that. We have the potential. There are few things that were delaying us. Of such now, people have that information. People traveled abroad to study. They worked with some companies. They had idea. We had one, I think you've heard of Nara. I don't think you've heard of that, but it's an app of transferring money with African countries, Europe and other African countries. And I think I heard his story. He studied in Harvard in America, I think, and he got a job, I think, with, I think Mark Zuckerberg or something like that. And he said, no, it was a big role, paying well and all that. And was like, no, I want to go back to Tanzania and start something of my own.
Yes.
So he had the vision, he had the knowledge, he had the power. It's just like he needed a platform to do that. And he remembered. So if he went to Tanzania and they said, we don't want to do that, we could have lost that and all that. And so we have so much, I think, as you mentioned, the barrier are coming low now because of the knowledge and people understanding what can be possible. The only thing that I think that could allow more Africans, younger generation, to explore and become is the support from government.
Yes.
Of which few are limiting, and that's where the anger is exploding.
Yes, but we have seen this in African countries before. And then, like, for example, i.e. Nigeria, and they did NSAS or something like that. And things just, nothing happened. People just died. Are we not repeating ourselves here? Do you think this particular thing in Tanzania will actually come through?
I think people, again, they have studied all that. I mean, they did study all that, knowing if we start, and I think most of leaders, they know, like, they will start, they will stop.
Yeah.
Leave them, give them away, give them 2 days and all that. So the vision is now, I hope the Gen Z will not give up, is we are not, we say Aluta continue, we are not stopping until we get what we want. And that's like consistency, like you kill, you stop, like the few that will survive will enjoy that goodness.
I was talking about businesses that are happening in Tanzania right now from a diaspora perspective. Let's say someone is listening to or is watching our podcast and they want to be advised or encouraged. What do you think is really happening in Tanzania at the moment? Is anything not on top of your head?
I think there's a lot. It depends. For people that are within Tanzania or they're abroad, they want to go to Tanzania.
Would you encourage people to go back to Africa now? On top of
definitely.
And do what? So we can what?
It depends what you're good at again. So, like for example, now you're doing agriculture, isn't it?
Yes.
And you have seen the benefit of that. So, if your call is into that, because there's some people, like if you tell them agriculture, even if it makes millions, they'll tell you no. Again, based on their mindset and their perspective. So it depends what you really have vision on and what you think it can work to the area. Going there on your own, I think will be hard. You need to find someone who is local. Now, I think in this perspective, you're asking me as a local person being there. I think agriculture definitely, because there's land, I don't want to use the word cheap labor, but there's enough labor, there's technology that can support. There's market as well, because people will need to eat, definitely. There's some area, there's some industry like you cannot sleep hungry.
Yes.
People will support that. I think agriculture is, and that's the backbone, I think, of Tanzania. So if you're in that industry, but mining as well, have a lot of minerals, and most of the people from the diaspora are doing that. Though I think that area is
up and down. Are the Chinese also everywhere in Tanzania? So it's becoming
it's everywhere.
In Zimbabwe.
Really? What are they doing in Zimbabwe?
Mining. Yes,
they're taking over. It's like they're the new colonizers.
Yes. In a sense, you're not far wrong there. If you want to see how many Chinese are in Africa, just fly through Addis Ababa. And you see how many people are going from Addis Ababa to go Tanzania, Zimbabwe, Kenya, Congo of Chinese. And the most annoying part of them is they also bring their own labor. So how was the locals?
And who is allowing that?
Exactly. These are our leaders now. What would you tell your 21-year-old Joanitha? What is it that you tell a 21-year-old Joanitha from what you have learned and your travels and all you've accomplished, the talks you've had with sisters talks, the stories you've had in that conversations? A 21-year-old Joanitha, I'm sure she was not where you are today. But what would you sit down and tell her?
Trust your guts.
Trust your guts. That's very interesting. I didn't expect that sharp answer. Trust your gut. It is. I think it is a very powerful statement. What you just say there. That's all you can do. If you trust yourself that you are whatever you are getting into, but if you really truly push your soul and heart into it, you always say to come on the other end. When you're coming to this conversation, what is it that you said? I want people to know of me, of course, including the upcoming show. You can repeat that again for us. But what else do you say? I like to leave the people on this podcast with this message. This is your time.
Support your people.
Very key. Do you feel supported?
I think for the because again, as I said, working with the Black community, there's one event I attended. There's a lady, I think, I don't know if you have heard of her, can't remember her name, but she was doing hidden figure and she was researching Black. Oh yes. And she very good. So when I had a conversation with her, like I told her what I'm doing and all that, she was like, I didn't have enough support with my people. And that was painful, truly.
I have to be honest. She did reach out to me.
You did not support her?
I didn't attend to what she wanted. Why? Because I'm not a figure. No. It might surprise you a lot. I just don't want... I personally don't want my face to be... I want to interview people. I want to talk to people. I want people to... I don't want to be me like type. Because if I was gonna go, she did explain to me what she wanted to do, but it didn't align to what I.
Your value. Okay.
Yes, so I don't want to be put into a.
Okay, yeah, definitely. There's always limit.
That's me.
You cannot be every.
Yes, I didn't want that. So she might probably counting.
And you as well. Okay, she didn't.
That conversation. She's not being supported. But anyway,
but as you mentioned, I think right community maybe.
Yes.
So. And what you said actually there, like align your value or the area of interest is really key. I think that's where most of us get angry until you understand, like, let's say if you do nightclubs, let's say,
Yes.
if you do that, and there are people that would love that, but you will not get me. Now, I'm your friend, I don't hate it and all that, but that's just not
Yeah.
my area. And if you understand me in that, I don't think that,
Yes.
we're good together.
Yes.
So, so I didn't have enough time to have that conversation, why and all that, but I think perhaps finding the right people, you need to understand, it's like this, like supply and demand. You need to know the need of people and what you can supply to them. So finding the right people. For example, what I'm doing, they are actually the niche that I am. Some people say like it's a niche that will not work because women that are up there and the one that are here to be in the same room, which is really hard.
Yes.
But there must be a right approach.
That's correct.
What are you getting? What are you getting?
That's correct.
So I cannot just come to a place just to be there. What do I get from there?
Correct.
What will I get from there?
Yes.
That one on its own, it help and then support. But in aspect of supporting, as I mentioned, like you're doing maybe nightclub, I'm not coming, but I'll be like, I know someone who might come, and then I'll tell them like, oh, Tendai is doing that, and push that.
Yeah. So that was Rise With Us, a podcast. Myself, Dr. Joanitha, this afternoon with a wonderful discussion. But also, don't forget, this Wednesday coming up, the 12th of November, they are at
Copthorne Hotel.
Copthorne Hotel in Plymouth. And that's where they are having a ladies' day out, full of networking, conversations, empowering, helping each other to grow, giving each other a pat on the back. If you're also struggling as well, you also want to turn up and share your story. See how people can also elevate you in spirit. We do believe in spirit as Ubuntu. Until next time, I'll see you. Take care. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.